Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one of my amazing YouTube videos. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different for my channel. I constantly say that in every fucking video that I make, but this one is a tier list on Mortal Kombat Mobile. Now, if you don't know what this game is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's Mortal Kombat, but for your phone, and if you haven't played it, I genuinely recommend you do. It is really good for a phone game. Unfortunately, it is pay to win because it is a free game, but it is static, so if you're not familiar with the game, you're probably not even going to watch this video to begin with. But if you are, I'm going to give a lot of insight on every single character. I'm going to try to give tips on how to best to use them or why they're not good characters. And as always, this is my opinion. Don't get mad at me if you don't like my opinion. It's not that I'm saying that I'm not attacking you as a human being if you use a character that I think is bad. I'm just saying that character is bad. Every single diamond in Mortal Kombat Mobile can be used in an amazing way to just completely destroy any content that you need them to, because diamonds are just that strong. So it's good to watch these kinds of videos to get insight on which characters are good for the start of the game and which ones will help you out the most, because they provide a certain utility that most gold characters can't, or maybe they can help you with challenges, so on and so forth. Anyways, guys, let's start out right into it. So the first character we have here is Assassin Katana. She's not too bad, but she is an assassin character. The assassin team in this game really does not offer much for an account unless they are maxed out. I have used them quite extensively, and they struggle constantly. They are very slow. Their basic attacks, if you don't break the enemy's block, you are most likely going to get hit, and in tower battles that can usually mean that your character is going to die. And on characters like Katana, Scarlet, and Jade, where their attacks are super slow and their specials really don't do that much unless you have good gear for them, like Jade's new and improved brutality set, just gonna struggle. Katana's friendship just released, and it's actually pretty good. So if you can get that for Assassin Katana, I would say she's a okay character, but she just doesn't have much for herself. Her tag and attack does cause bleed, and she does have the staple power drain on special 1, which is always nice, but power drain on special 1 is not enough to really bring this diamond up past any other diamond. So guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put her down in decent / serviceable. Still usable because every diamond is, but she just struggles way too much. On to the next guy, Black Dragon Cabal. Personal favorite character in Mortal Kombat history. For me personally, I love him so much. I love his demeanor, love his design, I love his moves. He himself is a badass character. He's so fucking cool. But enough of sucking his dick. This is Black Dragon variant, so for the Black Dragon team, he is essential for your team. You need him. If you don't have him, your Black Dragon team is gonna struggle. He himself, his passive being that he tags in, he stuns the opponent, and he also gives the Black Dragon characters the ability to attack characters that can dodge, like MK11 Jade, Assassin Jade, and Slasher or Nightmare Jason Voorhees, and they cannot dodge your character's attacks. That's really useful for more struggling battles, like ones that have Assassin Jade. Even at low fusions, you can use this method to slowly yet surely beat the boss version of Assassin Jade or MK11 Jade. I have done this before because of how annoying she can be. He has speed on special 2, and it's unblockable at the same time. He also has a really good brutality set, so that only amplifies him even more. As a character, he's a beast in tower battles, he's a beast in boss battles, he's even better in Survivor. He is just a good character all around, just because of his basic attacks are so good. He gains power incredibly fast, meaning that you are able to keep using special 2 over and over and over, and if one of your Black Dragon teammates die, he will tag in and use an X-ray, and his X-ray gives him power generation as the status effect for himself and his team. So he and your entire team will start gaining power incredibly fast as you start attacking, and you can possibly get another X-ray in if you really wanted to. So he as a character is very strong if you know how to utilize him. He can seem very slow or very weak at lower fusions, and this is going to be a very common thing with a lot of characters on this list. He is not that good at Fusion 0, 1. He only really starts getting good at Fusion 5 and above, because that's when you can really get the most out of his attacks without needing to worry about trading out damage against enemies that are stronger than you. And of course, that's an issue with almost every character in the game, but there are a few that don't need to worry about that, and trust me, we'll get to them when we get to them. But honestly, because of all these good attributes as a character and being a really good fighter, I'm gonna have to put him in the great tier. He is really good to have on pretty much anything, and the fact that he can just completely nullify some characters' passives himself and for your team, that is super good. Now, next up here we have Black Dragon Kano. This one, very old character. Everyone knows him if you played the game back in the day. You could actually buy Kano from the store, and he was, I think, 55,000 coins or something like that. You could buy him, and his passive was he was the cheapest gold character in Mortal Kombat Mobile. So he's very old, and for a lot of people actually had him when he came out, because he was upgraded to a diamond and added to the Black Dragon roster, which for some people was amazing, because that means you just got a maxed out diamond right at the start, which was huge, because like I said earlier, a diamond character at max fusion is incredible. But of course his passive is very well known not for being that good. He starts with more bars of power, the more Black Dragon members that you have on your team, which means that you can start the round with an X-ray, which his X-ray is surprisingly terrible, and it's actually one of the weakest X-rays in the game. So it's not very good, but it can be used in a lot of scenarios, because if you don't use the X-ray and instead use his special one, he has a stun on special one, and you can really get out some good damage with that because of the combo chaining you can do, and you could just keep using it over and over, and it'll just do like 3 times the amount of damage that the X-ray would have, making him pretty good overall and not too bad at lower fusions. And this is really the case for all Kano characters. I hear a lot of people shitting on them, but they're just not as bad as people say they are. And getting a copy of Black Dragon Kano isn't going to kill your account, or any Black Dragon character for that matter, because they're all really good if you just, take the time to use them and get used to them. But he is not going to carry you in any means, but he's very situational. But apart from that, I would put him in the good tier. His brutality set definitely makes him a really good character, and honestly, I'd put him just behind Cabal if you have his brutality set. But this is a hypothetical list in every scenario except for gear, because like I said, you can make any diamond work if you have the right gear. So I'm gonna just put him in good, because that's a pretty good spot for him. I don't think he's bad, and getting any form of this character is not going to kill you, especially classic Kano. You can get a lot of use out of him. I recommend it. Yeah, Black Dragon Tremor. Now this character, I love him. He's one of my favorites. He is so friggin' fun to play. I love his abilities. He does great damage. The fact that he is one of the safest characters to open with in the game. The resistance to any status effect that gets applied to him is incredible. The resistance to stun, bleed, poison, soaked even, and that's amazing. And you could just stay in the match with him for as long as possible, and he just does not die, and he has really good damage to back it up as well, making him insane. He also has, I believe it was Team Fire on special 2 if he's in lava mode, which can be incredible and completely just destroy teams. He is usable at low fusions, unlike other characters, because of his fire damage over time that he can do, and that is invaluable for certain characters. And he himself is fast. He also has a ranged option as well, because his basic attacks will hit across the screen, and that's really nice, because that means that you don't need to get super close to the opponent after using a certain special attacks that knock them to the ground. So it's pretty good overall. He is definitely a contender for a top spot in the Black Dragon team. He's really good if you can get his brutality set, and also it's one of the best in the game. He is still good without it. He does not need his brutality set to be good, but dude, is this character phenomenal. I've used him to beat Fatal Towers alone, and I only have him at Fusion 2. So he is incredible. He is ridiculously good if you can get the setup for him. He also got fixed. He had his stun was bugged before, and now they fixed it again, so he is back up there with some of the greats, and I love using him. If you have him in your account and you just got him from a random pack and you're new to the game, use him. I know he doesn't look like that much on his own, but trust me, once you understand how he works, he will be amazing for your account, and he can be an absolute beast. But yeah, he is definitely being put up there at the top of grade tier. And next up on the list is a fan favorite gunslinger, not gunslinger, Black Dragon Aaron Black. This is, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, he is the best of the Black Dragon characters for obvious reasons. The unblockable special attack on special 1. He has considered one of the best brutality sets in the game, and that matters a lot for characters. He looks funny. It looks funny. And he has cripple on special 1. His tag out attack stuns the opponent. He can occasionally help your teammates and stun the enemy that you're fighting. That is insane. So he is a nomad character, which means that he can work on any team. It does not matter. Although his passive for the Black Dragon characters will not work on every other team. It only works on the Black Dragon characters. I know it's a bit finicky and sounds strange, but it's weird. But he will assist all the time, and he'll constantly be shooting the enemy, stunning them, and just being a nuisance to them. And this can be really good for survivor mode if you're using the aforementioned Black Dragon Tremor, Black Dragon Cabal, and of course Black Dragon Aaron Black. You don't have to open with him. I recommend he is the second guy you switch to on your team, but I digress. He's an incredible character. He doesn't seem like that much on paper. He seems a little bit too simple for his own good. And it's just like, oh no, he's too simple, doesn't look that good, I'm not going to use him. If you are a beginner, because right now Mortal Kombat Mobile is giving out free diamonds like fucking snow when it snows out. It's incredible. They're giving out all kinds of diamonds, so you might end up getting him as a character. So if you do, use him. I can assure you that you will enjoy it. The cripple on special 1 is ridiculously good to have, because enemies using special attacks on you sucks ass, so that's just nice to have. For boss fights, he's incredible because of his unblockable special attack. You can keep spamming him over and over, and they just cannot touch you no matter what they do. He is good at any fusion. He does not need to be a high fusion to be good. You could put him on your team at Fusion 0, and he will be worth having there because of the stuns that he can do to the opponent. This could help you out by letting you tag out, heal, whatever you need, get power generation if you have Time Traveler's cool factor, and on top of it, his basic attacks are really good as well, making him pretty much untouchable if you have, you know, decent gear. Again, this is a character that you can use at Fusion 0 and beat a Fatal Tower with if you can get lucky enough to. He's incredible. So if you have him, put him on a team, and I guarantee you'll love him just as much as I did. But yeah, for my placement for him, he is a godlike. He's going to be the first one in this list to be godlike. He's incredible. I love using him. His passive is amazing. His special attacks are amazing. His design is goofy as hell, and I love it. The fact that he has a fucking mohawk, I just think it's so stupid. But he is not bad at all. He's incredible. And the fact that he can work on any team makes him even better. So he definitely deserves a spot in the godlike. So next up on the list here is the Circle of Shadow characters. These are fan favorites for a lot of people. They are notorious for having some pretty high damage outputs in general. So the first one here is Jax Briggs, Circle of Shadow Jax Briggs. He is notorious for being quite the bad character, but honestly, I digress. I think he is pretty good. The fact that he has a block breaker on all of his special attacks, meaning that you can get a free cripple on special 2, you can do a grab with him on special 1, and of course special 3 or the X-ray is always unblockable no matter what. His passive includes the fact that every time the opponent or the player uses a special attack, he can become invulnerable for a certain amount of time, and this can be very useful because you can actually get quite the use out of it, whether it be tanking a special attack, whether it be an X-ray, special 2, special 1, wasting time just so that your other characters can build power or heal or whatever you need. And that's really good. And his basic attacks are also pretty good too, which that means you don't need block breaker on this guy. You can play him completely without it and you'd be just fine. His support though is probably why most people don't like him or think he is a shit character. And if I'm being honest with you, he's not that bad. You are definitely not going to be beating any Fatal Towers with this character. I'm sorry, but that's just not going to happen at all. He is a great character in his own right. His brutality set makes him even better. So definitely a really good character overall, but he's not good at low fusions at all. He struggles quite a bit if he's too low fusion, and he just dies so fast, and how slow he is can be a pain, and if you don't have good power generation, he just struggles. He doesn't get good until about Fusion 7 or higher, And if I'm being honest, if you have him, I wouldn't use him. I wouldn't waste your time using him. You can definitely get use out of his special attacks on some tougher battles if you are beginning and just starting out, and this is the character that you have unfortunately gotten from one of the free packs. But he's definitely not as bad as people make him out to be, since you can definitely do a lot of damage to bosses with him because of his invulnerability, meaning that you can take more risk against certain bosses. But I don't have much else to say for him. There is really not much he can do apart from just becoming invulnerable after special attacks, so I'm going to put him up in the good tier. Next up on the list is Circle of Shadow Katana, which some people would consider this character to also be the worst character in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile. And if I'm being honest with you, I completely agree. She's not that bad in survivor mode. That's pretty much it. Her passive includes the fact that when she gets a kill, she can make that character that she kills into a revenant and then use them in the fight, basically making it so you have a fourth character. It's really weird and very specific, the fact that you need to kill the opponent. You only also get, I believe it was 1 bar of power if you do this. Her basic attacks are very slow, just like Assassin Katanas, and her special attacks are not very good. Her passive for the Circle of Shadow team is some of the worst I think I've ever seen. The fact that she makes your Circle of Shadow characters immune to fear, which just forces your character to tag out. Like, what? That's so random. I mean, that's great, I guess, but not really, because fear isn't really a bad thing. It could be a good thing. Yeah, this character is just not good overall. There's really no easy way to use her, and there are better options for the Circle of Shadow team, and the only reason why I could see someone would use her is if you are doing survivor mode, because you just need that extra bit of tankiness or prolonging or damage or what have you. But she is one of the worst characters in towers. I don't really think I've ever seen her get utilized in towers ever, unless you were like, for some reason, bought something from somebody and got services on your account, and she was one of the characters that you got to a really high fusion at an early level. I don't really see the point of using her. If you have her, please do not bother. She is just not good. I can't think of many scenarios where she would be good, apart from, again, prolonging the match so your characters can heal and stall and whatnot, so they can get more power. Other than that, you probably shouldn't be using her. You can definitely make her work if you have the brutality set or the friendship set, because those are both really good on her. But apart from that, you probably won't see yourself using her, even if you had a maxed out account, because she's just not good. But yeah, this is pretty obvious where I'm going to put her. It is at the bottom of the list. Oh, okay, so next up on the list we have a fan favorite character, Kung Lao, Circle of Shadow Kung Lao. A very good character, really well known for having some of the best special spamming in the game because of his passive, it being, of course, that he can get the special attack that he does for free called Nether Realm Power, and it's really nice to have because you can keep using special 2 over and over and over and over and over and over and fucking over and just never stop because of certain setups that you can do with him, which make him absolutely incredible and an absolute beast. Even at low fusions, he could be a pretty devastating character to go up against in the game. And for an account, the shields that he provides for himself can be really useful for tanking certain attacks, and overall he's not too bad to have on a certain team, but he's definitely a top tier in terms of the Circle Shadow characters that in the game. So yeah, I would recommend using him even at lower fusions. He can be an absolute beast and just deal out a lot of damage. The only downside I can really say about this character is that he doesn't have any damage over time effects that he can apply, so that at lower fusions can he be utilized very well compared to other diamonds. He himself is very fast, has good basic attacks, great special attacks, and he is an absolute great character to put on your Circle of Shadow team if you have him. Great support character. So yeah, he's definitely a really great character to have on the Circle of Shadow team as a support character, just the fact that he gives your Circle of Shadow teammates 1.5 bars of power at the start of the match, meaning that you can do a special 2 on all of your characters pretty much instantly. So definitely having him on your team is absolutely essential. He is too good to not have on your team. He is ridiculously overpowered. Definitely at higher fusions is he better, and at low fusions does he struggle quite a bit. But honestly, guys, he's going to be put into the great tier. And does he have a brutality set? I'm honestly not sure if he does or not, if I'm being real. And if he does, please let me know in the comments. Next up on the list is going to be Circle of Shadow Quan Chi. This one's a bit of an iffy character. He's not too bad, and he's not too good. He's just kind of in the middle. His basic attacks are quite slow, making him a bit of a struggle to use. His special attacks aren't too bad, making him pretty good. And his passive for his team ain't half bad either. He is a good survivor character. He gives your Circle of Shadow team healing when they tag in for, I think, 15 seconds, and increased block breaker as well. So it's not too bad to have on your team. He himself isn't a very strong character. Kind of struggling a lot if you try to use him as a fighter. He's mainly a support guy. He's really iffy. You can tag him in and you can tank some special attacks, which can be really nice, and it reflects the damage onto the opponent when they use the special attacks. He's really annoying to fight against, but I mean, the tankiness he has can be really nice for some people. You can just kind of tag him in, and if it's like the enraged modifier, you can tag him in and he just kind of fucking tanks all the special attacks and applies it back to the opponent, so then they just take a shit ton of damage. And he himself is also, when he has his passive activated, he himself is now tankier against special attacks because they will deal less damage to him. He's not a bad character by any means. He's a great as a support card, and if you need to use him as a fighter, he is wonderful. But the only unfortunate part about this character is that he is not very good at all at low fusions, and I really don't recommend putting him on any one of your teams if you are new to the game, or unfortunately I managed to get him from a free pack or a free diamond drop from the game's developers. Unfortunately, he's just not good and really not that worth using. But apart from that, at higher fusions, he can be a pretty decent character overall, but he's not going to be carrying your account by any means. But apart from that, because of his supportive capabilities, I will be putting him in the very good tier, making that the first character. Now we have the beast of Mortal Kombat Mobile, one of the most notorious fighters in the game, Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero. Now many of you may be wondering, why the hell did I just say that? What makes him so good? Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero has one of the strongest special attack 2s I've ever seen in Mortal Kombat Mobile, dealing upwards of 2.2 million damage. Yeah, pretty incredible if you use him correctly. He is no joke. Even at lower fusions, this character can be an absolute menace and a beast to the opponents due to the fact that he is a Sub-Zero character. And if you know anything about the Sub-Zero characters in this game, they are all really good. None of them are bad, really. None of them really fall flat on their face. The fact that he has a freeze on special 1, he has the amazing weaken ability on special 2, and weaken may kind of seem bad at face value, but the fact that it makes your opponent deal less damage to you means that you can tank more special attacks if you mess up. The only real downside to this character is that when you get the opponent into the corner, you might notice yourself getting hit more often because your character's recovery speed is really slow. But that doesn't exactly mean he's bad. He's definitely really good in his own right. And if he's even better if you get the brutality set from him. If you have any Lin Kuei Tower gear, he is just an absolute menace to go up against. Oh my god, is he great. It's ridiculous the things you can do with him. I have him at Fusion 5. I love using him. Again, he's one of the few characters that I think can genuinely solo a Fatal Tower. But he himself is the fighter character for the Circle of Shadow team, and it's always good to have him on the Circle of Shadow team because he gives your Circle of Shadow teammates lethal blow chance by 15% if you max out his passive, which is absolutely incredible because getting lethal blow chances on your characters at all is just too good to pass up, because lethal blows is the reason why you're able to do 15 million damage, or yeah, 15 million, like 2 million damage in one shot. It's incredible. Like, that's insane to have. Any amount is just really good. And of course, he himself is a fighter character because he gains 15% attack and power generation for every Circle of Shadow character on his team. So if you have 2, he gets 30%, which is absolutely incredible to have on any character because power generation is a necessity, and the fact that he gets more damage is also really good too, which is the reason why this character is considered so good. Even at low fusions, you can get a lot of use out of him. He is an absolute beast of a character, but unfortunately at the lower fusions he cannot do much, because compared to the other characters that you can get at that point of the game, he is not that good. He only really starts to shine at Fusion 4 and above in terms of his damage and his health output. He himself is very weak below that because of his slower recovery speed on his special attacks, because of his slower recovery on his basic attacks, and the fact that his special attacks don't really do all that much damage unless you have the correct setup for him and have other Circle of Shadow teammates to help him in the fight. And apart from that, he is definitely the best out of the Circle Shadow characters in my personal opinion, but by all means he is definitely great to have if you have this team. If you pair him up with Kung Lao and Quan Chi, he is just incredible. The amount of just damage you can put out with him in the lot of time that you have. And that's the reason why I'm not going to put him into God tier. I'm going to have to put him at the middle of Great tier, just below Black Dragon Chamber. Because he doesn't have any damage over time effects, and nor can he apply Frostbite like other Sub-Zeros can. Fuck. The reason why is he's not going to be better than Tremor is because he does not have any damage over time effects, and the fact that he cannot apply Frostbite like other Sub-Zero characters can, meaning that he definitely struggles and misses out quite a bit compared to the other variants of Sub-Zero that are in the Diamond tier, like Mortal Kombat 11 Sub-Zero and Cold War Sub-Zero, which I would not say are better than him in their own team, but definitely all very good characters. Now next up here, we have Circle of Shadow Liu Kang. This is a fan favorite character. Everyone loves Liu Kang except for me, because I don't really care about Liu Kang all that much, but he is not bad. He is incredible. He is the menace to most characters, or most players. I fucking hate seeing him in Survivor mode, and if you use him in Survivor mode or have him on your team, please stop. Just fucking stop. I want to play Survivor and win, not get immediately killed by... Yeah, anyways. His passive is pretty simple. He stuns the opponent at the start of the match, and he gains lethal blow chance against enemies that are stunned, and increased strength against enemies that are stunned, making him a really good opener for anything Tower Battles, Survivor, challenges. Does not matter. He is great. He is incredible. He can dish out a lot of damage. He can pretty much instantly kill anyone in Survivor mode if you have him maxed out. Even at low fusions, he's a good character. And the fact that he starts the match with having a 100% critical hit chance and stunning the opponent. And he also has a very unique stat of being able to get increased lethal blow chance in Faction Wars, which makes him even more frustrating to deal with in Faction Wars. He also is pretty good and is a good subsidiary to Quan Chi in terms of healing, because if you have Circle of Shadow Liu Kang, Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero, and Circle of Shadow Kung Lao, they all deal lethal blows, and you get healed every time you deal a lethal blow. So if you max all of them and put them on a team, you're pretty much unkillable, and you guys will be dealing a shit ton of damage while you're at it. So he's an amazing character, because Liu Kang is just that good. Having Snare on Special Attack 1 is even better, just like your boy Cabal has. Snaring your opponent pretty much means that you'll guarantee the kill on them, and it's really nice to have during boss fights on more frustrating bosses. He also has Fire on Special 2 and 3, so that's always nice having in the ability to deal fire damage, and that means that he can work at lower fusions. So if you have the right setup, put him in with Kung Lao, Circle of Shadow Kung Lao, you can do fire right off the bat, and that means that you could possibly dish out enough damage to kill the opponent that you're facing. So he's not too bad at lower fusions, which definitely is a good thing. It's always good to get a character that's good at low fusions, especially on a beginner account, especially this one, because having stun at the start of the round is incredible and is always nice, because that basically means free damage for you and you just in general, so it increases your likelihood of beating some tougher battles than most. So that's always nice to have. Now, would I say he is better than Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero? No, I would not. The reason being is because in boss fights, his passive sometimes doesn't work, because bosses can sometimes be really resistant to stuns and just completely negate them and just completely screw you up, and it kind of sometimes won't work, and then sometimes it will, and like the fact that you need to rely on a chance to get his passive to work kind of sucks. And he himself isn't the greatest fighter of the Circle of Shadow team, but by no means is he a bad character. It's just compared to his counterpart being Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero for the top dog, I definitely wouldn't consider him better, because Sub-Zero's ability to freeze, weaken, and completely just crush the opponent is just ridiculously good in my opinion. And if we're talking at Fusion 10, level 60, Sub-Zero will deal more damage than Circle of Shadow Liu Kang ever could. But Circle of Shadow Liu Kang is also great in his own rights, and the fact that they do completely different things, he definitely gets put up into the great tier, just below Cabal. Moving on to the Day of the Dead team, fan favorite amongst many because of the badass looking characters and the fact that Katana for some reason has massive tits. But moving on from that, we have our boy Day of the Dead Aaron Black, a fan favorite character. This character is absolutely a fucking beast at max fusion. The fact that you can just keep spamming special attacks over and over and over and over and over, and then it's just, yeah, all of the Aaron Black variants for some reason have really good special attack spamming capabilities, and this guy is no exception. His entire passive is based around it. He has a chance to completely get the special for free, and also power drain the opponent on special attacks, which is absolutely ridiculous and very good to have on any character. When he's defeated, Aaron Black will assist his teammates during combo enders and special attacks, which is really nice to have. And that means that he's not only a good support card, even when he fucking dies, he helps out your team. So definitely nice to have. Definitely really good. He's not a bad character by no means. Actually, anything I would say he's much better than the majority of characters in this game. Aaron Black, the only downside I can really give him is that at low fusions, he's kind of terrible. His damage at low fusions is just fucking abysmal, and he just cannot do much at all. And the fact that you cannot trade damage sometimes, and you will just end up getting fucked. His basic attacks are not very good either, and his brutality set, for ironically on the Day of the Dead variant of Aaron Black, does not help him all that much, apart from maybe dodging a special attack here and there. That's really all I can give him. But if we're talking maxed fusion, I would put him in godlike, but since he isn't good until you can get him to the max fusion, he is not going to be put into godlike. He is going to be put at the below, I would say before Tremor. He's an amazing character to get at all. Also, he's fun to play. He is really fun, and that is a factor as well. If a character is fun, I will put them higher up on the list, and that is another reason why he's up there. He is hella fun to play, and not only that, he has a cool passive ability, and he looks badass too. I love his design. It's one of my favorites. And being a Spanish person myself, Day of the Dead, I mean, come on, guys. You know, it's just nice to see that they kind of have representation in this game. Through this cool character team, and it's not even a bad team at that. Day of the Dead is a really good team, just in general. Towers, Survivor, Faction Wars, you name it, just a great team. But yeah, he's gonna definitely be put into the great tier just because of the fact that he is just good in every aspect, except for being at low fusion is he not good, and it's a pretty fair place to put him. But moving on, we have Day of the Dead Jade. Now, Day of the Dead Jade is a sad tale, unfortunately, after she got nerfed not too long ago. Her ability kind of sucks ass now, because it is now only a 40% chance to get that nice shield that reflects to the opponent for 7 seconds, and that's really nice to have, but now it's only a 40% chance. And if I'm being honest with you, this kind of butchered her character, because unfortunately this is a common theme with all the Jade characters. Her basic attacks are just fucking abysmal, and she's no exception. She's incredibly slow, so she has a lot of risk to her. So if you fuck up or don't get the Black Breaker on the opponent, she herself will most likely end up getting killed or just getting comboed into an oblivion into getting killed, and that just makes her just it's just a pain to use. And her brutality set saves her ass quite a bit, making her an even better character than normal. But if I'm being honest with you, she is just not a good character. She's definitely better than most of the diamonds in the game, and she's not the worst I've seen. It's just that the fact that she got nerfed like that really sucks. I kind of wish they'd buff her back up to maybe 65% of a chance instead of like 40%, because it feels like it almost never happens, and by the time it does, either you've lost the fight or you've already won because of how many special 2s you need to do. If you get lucky, you can definitely get a lot of use out of her passive, because being invulnerable for 7 seconds is just, that's always really nice. But apart from that, she's going to be put into the very good tier. If you want to utilize her, she is best utilized in a special 2 build. If you can give her free bars of power, enough to where you can start the match and instantly do a special 2 and then swap out to a different Day of the Dead character, definitely would recommend doing it, because if you can proc the shield at all, it's really nice to have. I mean, invulnerability for 7 seconds and the damage they deal is reflected. That's really good, but the issue is it's a lower chance than what should be expected, and it just kind of if she got buffed in any way, I would put her up into the great tier just behind Aaron Black, but because of her current standing, I don't think she deserves to be any higher. Apart from that, we're going to move on to the next character. We have one of my favorite characters in the entire game, Day of the Dead, Katana, a very notorious character for being one of the hardest bosses to deal with in Mortal Kombat Mobile history, and one of the best survivor characters in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile's history. She is hella fun, she's hella good, she's an amazing character in all regards except for her basic attacks, and that is the only thing bad I can say about her. Her support capabilities immediately puts her into God tier. That is just factual evidence. This character is too fucking good, and I'm now going to tell you what she does. She gives you regen every time the opponent gets killed, and it does not matter what kind of gets killed I'm talking about. Resurrection, Revenant, you know, you name it, just shout, Goro coming back from the dead, yeah, that counts. This will all proc the regeneration. The only downside to this is that it only works on Outworld teammates and the Day of the Dead teammates, which are Outworld anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it only works on Outworld teammates, so this character only works with that group of characters, which is fortunate because the Outworld team is surprisingly comprised of some of the best characters in the game, like Classic Raiden and Classic Rain, Classic Reptile. Yeah, all of those characters are really good, and if you want my personal team that I use Classic Reptile with Classic Raiden and Day of the Dead Katana in my Survivor mode and Crypt runs. So if you want to get the most out of that, I recommend using her on those teams. But the fact that you can get regeneration just for killing the opponent is invaluable on any team, and it just makes things a breeze for you. She's really good in tower battles, and the only thing she's not good at is bosses, and that is it. Everything else, she is just an incredible character. She is absurdly good. If you get even her at Fusion 0 level 1, she is an amazing character to have on your team. It does not matter, and you can make an Outworld team with her if you're starting out, and she's a character that you get for free. If you open up gold packs, you can get like Sun God Kotal Khan and the Master of Souls Ermac, and then there you go, that's your team. And you've essentially got yourself your first Fatal Tower team, and you can just go ham on them, and you just destroy. She is incredible to get on a starter account because she can help you do Survivor, she can help you do tower battles, she can help you do challenges. She is too good to pass up at, and she's good at any fusion and at any level. Her support is the best support in the game. She's just so fucking good, dude. I love using her, and the only thing that I can say that sucks about her is that she's a pretty rare character because she only used to come around, fun fact, only on the Day of the Dead, and that would make her incredibly rare. This used to be one of the rarest teams in the game. They did change that, so now you can get these characters from Outworld packs, the Elite Outworld pack, or other packs that have them, and of course the tried and true Day of the Dead pack. So she's much easier to get now. She's really fucking good. If you see her pack in the store, open it just so you can get her. She is incredible, and I can't talk highly enough about her. I love using her. So definitely get her. And of course she has the other ability of Day of the Dead Katana is immune to bleed, which I did not know that. So that is interesting. Okay, after all this time of using her, you think I would have noticed that. I use a lot of debuff resistance on my characters, so I guess I just never picked that up. But that's always nice. Getting regeneration on your Outworld teammates is just too good, dude. It is too fucking good. Next up on the list, we have our boy Dark Fate Terminator, a fan favorite. I love Terminator. He's so fun. Playing Guardian Terminator and Dark Fate Terminator, too good, man. They are notorious for being the really good tower team back in the day, and just being an absolute just menace to the society in this game. Used to be meta characters. They did get nerfed, but that does not mean by any means that they are bad. And I'm just going to say right now, Dark Fate Terminator is going to be put into the great tier. Having Cripple on Special 1 is just, it is so good. And Terminator has great basic attacks, and this variant of Terminator, if you don't know what he does, when he dies, he comes back to life with full HP and takes reduced damage, immune to all status effects apart from the ones that don't deal damage over time. And if you have him on a Spec Ops team, your teammates will take less damage, which is invaluable, making him a beast in towers, survivor, and challenges. He's a great character. He can work on many teams. It does not matter. The only downside I can give him is that he himself doesn't have a team, so you can't put him with Guardian Terminator and like have those two kind of coincide and like do something for each other. Like you could call it like the Skynet team or something, and they both have passives that help each other out, which would be really nice to see. Will we ever get that? Maybe one day. You never know. I mean, hey guys, their Homelander is gonna be in Mortal Kombat 1, so that's cool. So you never know. You never know. I mean, seeing Terminator is always a cool sight in anything. I love Terminator. I love Arnold. He's been a great inspiration for me personally. So that also boosts him up on the chart as well, because he helped me get in my life into shape with working out. It's definitely been a big motivator for me. So I love him, and his movies are great too. So the fact that I get to see him in one of my favorite mobile games just is fucking awesome. So he definitely gets to at least be put into the great tier alone, and his passive is usable. The only problem with both of the Terminators is they kind of suck ass at low fusions, and that is the only thing I can say that's bad about them. Everything else is just great. It's just good. There's nothing negative about it. Like, he doesn't hurt to have on a team. He doesn't suck. Like, he just is just a good card overall to have. The only downside is that he's just not good at low fusions. You could probably get some use out of him on a beginner account for the challenges mode. If there's like a requirement for Spec Ops characters only, you could definitely get some use out of him. So he's not bad, and he's also notoriously hard to get your hands on. He's rare, and it's also another reason why I'm not going to put him into the God tier, unfortunately, because he himself is a rare card, so he is difficult to get your hands on and get fusions for, so it definitely does not bump him up into the God tier, unfortunately. But other than that, guys, he's an amazing character. Recommend using him for any support things that you might need, and the fact that he's also immune to X-rays and crushing blow definitely put him up there as well. Now, next up on the list, we have a fan favorite character, Fire God Liu Kang. I don't like Fire God Liu Kang at all. I have used him extensively. I have fought against him extensively. I'm sorry, guys. This character just is not as good as people say he is. He is nowhere near as bad as to say he belongs down here. I'm not gonna say that, but there are a multitude of problems with him. One, he barely works in boss fights. If I'm being honest, he struggles quite a bit. Now you're probably wondering, well, how is that, Chop? Well, the problem with him is that he needs to apply fire to the enemy for you to get his passive to work, or the enemy needs to apply fire to you. This is very situational, and even then does not surefire way to say that your passive is going to give you much out of it. If you don't know what his passive is, it's an incredibly long and extensive passive that is just a pain to read, so I'm just going to kind of list off what I remember what it does. every time you apply fire or you take a fire damage over time, you get this thing called Dragon Fire. This Dragon Fire is like a status effect that can stack up to 7 times. And what this does is the higher the Dragon Fire, the better your special attacks are, and the better Fire God Liu Kang gets throughout the battle. So he also heals from this, and he fucking sucks to fight as a boss because he will heal like hundreds of thousands of health every time he applies Dragon Fire onto you, and it just sucks to go up against. But apart from that, he as a character, that is all he offers. If I'm being honest with you, that is it. He can be used at Fusion 0 because of the fact that he can apply fire on Special 1 if you can get to Dragon Fire. I believe it was level 2, which is not bad. Overall, that's not really a bad thing, which means that you could technically, in theory, do a Fatal Tower with just him. But at the same time, everything else about him just kind of blows. He works on very few teams because he himself really doesn't have any passives for your team. Unless you have yourself a good Elder God team, which is really specific. He is one of the few characters in the game that can assist Elder God characters by giving them a 25% basic attack unblockable chance, and their special attacks have a 50% chance of being assisted by Liu Kang's fireball that applies fire damage over time, which that's not too shabby to have on a character that is considered support. For a support character, that's not bad. Fire damage over time on almost every special attack you do. That's really good to have. It's always nice to have on a character that unfortunately does not boost him up any higher, in my personal opinion, and he will be put into the top of very good tier. I just don't see why a lot of people love him. I don't see the point. I think a lot of people overhype this character. He struggles at low fusions like really badly. His basics are pretty good, but it doesn't mean that he's a good character outside of, unless you have a very specific kind of build. It's very strange. It is a very strange character. You used to be able to apply fire to yourself with his brutality set. You can't do that anymore because they were reverted and changed around a bit, which is nice, I guess, to have, but that doesn't mean Fire God Liu Kang is even worse now. But it kind of does, because you can't apply fire to yourself anymore, so you can't just get free dragon fires. So it is just not, it's not good. Overall, please don't listen or take everything everyone says as gospel, but I have heard a lot of people talk this character up like he is the second coming of Jesus Christ, and I can't agree with you. I never see people use him like ever. I never see it, dude. I just haven't. Most people just don't bother, and that's fair. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just how it be. So yep, that's just where he belongs, man. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. I know people love him, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for what I just did. But if I'm being honest with you, I don't give a shit, and it's my opinion. But yeah. So next up on the list is the Nightmare characters. These ones are the most hated group of characters in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile. And yes, I'm going to make a good argument for all of them because I love using these characters. I find them to be incredibly fun and an absolute blast to play. And that is just insurmountable to have on characters. A character being fun matters the most out of anything. And first up on the list here is Freddy Krueger, and this character is, again, hated by a lot of people, mainly because of no reason other than YouTubers will say that this character sucks ass, and people will take that as the truth, like Star and Sky, who is the most popular of the Mortal Kombat Mobile YouTubers. I've noticed that he shits a lot on a lot of characters, and a lot of characters get a bad name. And Freddy Krueger does not deserve that. And I'm going to tell you right now, this character is going to be put into the great tier. Now, this is going to be fucking... I can hear it now, people frothing at the mouth, that I just put Freddy Krueger above Fire God Liu Kang. But dude, I promise you this character is fucking busted. He is absolutely insane. He is a lethal blow god. This motherfucker does nothing but lethal blows. It is like you will see more lethal blows on him than you will regular critical hits or just regular damage. It's fucking insane. He has like a 45% chance to just deal lethal damage just every time he hits, and you can increase this with gear. The best part is like he could just keep doing this over and over, and it also increases his Nightmare's critical hit chance on basic attacks by 10%, which is nice. So the fact that he himself is able to do what he can do is insane. He is one of the few characters that does not require tower gear to be good. Yes, that's right. You heard me right. He does not require it. He himself, since he does so much damage on his own, he doesn't need it. The fact that he can deal snare on special 1 is insanely good. The fact that he can give himself shield on special 2 is also insanely good. This character is a powerhouse in every sense of the word. He's good in almost every scenario, survivor, challenges, and of course towers. That is where he shines the most. This character is notorious for being capable of dealing millions of damage with tower gear on, and that's just on special 1. People will constantly talk about how the Nightmare team is bad, and the only exception is Freddy Krueger. And of course, Freddy Krueger is why this character is just insane, and I gotta agree with those people. Freddy Krueger being able to deal, I've seen videos of it, of him dealing over 1.5 million damage on special attack 1. That's insane, and it is ridiculous to have on any character. He is good at low fusions because of his lethal blow chance being capable of making him deal more damage than even fusion 6 diamonds. So yeah, he is pretty good at lower fusions if you can make sure that you don't die with him. A good composite for this would be using MK11 Sindel with Warlock Quan Chi, so then he can get revived just in case he can die. And he's fun. He's so fun to play. He's just so fun. So you're going to want to make a team with him, and just go nuts with him. He is too good to not have a team for. If you bought your account or bought the Freddy Krueger pack and you got him and you're like, I don't like this character, give him another chance. I can assure you that you will love him. The fact that he can dish out as much damage as he can, he deserves to be in godlike, but I can't, because unfortunately this character is not good in every scenario. He really does not have that many backup options. If you get low on health with him and he's about to die, that's pretty much the end for him. He is dead. But the fact that he can dish out as much damage as he can, being one of the strongest characters in the game, actually I think he is, statistically speaking, he is the strongest character in the game. But that does not mean that he is godlike. He unfortunately will be put into the great tier as of right now. If you have him and he's just collecting dust in your account, give him a try. I promise you, you will love him. All the Nightmare characters were actually made with fun in mind, not viability. But this character was accidentally made with both. So he is amazing and is just absolutely just fucking a god in his own right. Oh my god. This video is an hour long now, guys, and I am sorry about that. Anyways, guys, we're moving on to Nightmare Jason Voorhees, a fan favorite character in just in general. A lot of people like him. He's very cool, don't get me wrong. All versions of him is good. The gold characters are exceptional. A lot of people consider them to be better than the diamond version, which personally I can understand that. And anyways, moving on to his passive, Jason has a 30% chance to evade all attacks. After evading, Jason stuns the opponent. Nightmare teammate's special attack 2 chance of being unblockable is a 20%. This can be upgraded to, I believe it was 45% and 30%, making him a pretty solid character, honestly. Now, his exceptional being, he's got decent basic attacks and is not very good at low fusions, and if I'm being honest, he isn't too good. The recent brutality set that has come out for him has turned this character into an insane powerhouse of a character, he is just fucking ridiculous, and he is unstoppable, and it is crazy, bro. It is absolutely crazy. But of course, without the brutality set, this character struggles quite a bit at lower fusions. And if you don't know this about the Nightmare characters, is that they are the rarest group of characters in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile. And it's pretty unfortunate to hear that, I know, but they are. Jason Voorhees, Nightmare Jason Voorhees, at lower fusions is just not a good character to have on an account, but it is cool to have him because he's fun to play. Being that he is so rare and hard to get fusions for, he struggles quite a bit in a lot of departments, and unfortunately this means that this character is underutilized and just is never played by people. This leads people into thinking that this character is bad and just not good. Well, if I'm being honest with you, I digress. He can be an absolute powerhouse if you put him in the right setting and give him the right gear. The bleed on Special 2 is absolutely too good to pass up. It's really nice to have. The fact that he gives your team Block Breaker on Special 2 is really nice, and for the Nightmare team, that is incredible and nice to have. But Nightmare Jason Voorhees is no joke at all. He is a absolute powerhouse of a character if you can manage to get him to higher fusions. Only really getting good at Fusion 5 and above, but like I said, good luck getting fusions on him. This will be putting him into the below all of the characters and very good. He is not the worst character I've ever seen or used, and by no means is he bad in any way. Now, up next on the list is Leatherface. This character, you probably expect me to just do this and just like that. Well, no. If anything, he is better than Jason. Yes, I consider Leatherface better than Jason. I actually, for this video, I bought him from the crypt just to use him and see how good he is, because I did not have a copy of him. So, very cool. Yes, you can believe it that a lot of people were very pissed off at me when they heard the news that I was going to buy Leatherface instead of Mortal Kombat 1 Scorpion. And to those people, I say, suck my nuts, because I don't care. I value fun over viability. I do not give a shit, okay? I find this character to be absolutely fun and incredible. Leatherface's passive ability essentially turns him into God. If I'm being honest with you, he's no joke of a character. He is not. After performing or being attacked with a combo ender, Leatherface has a 30% chance to become enraged. 300% damage boost for 6 seconds. Whenever a teammate stuns an opponent, there is a 50% chance Leatherface will come running in from behind to attack. Now, I don't really, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I do not understand where the hatred to this character comes from. I don't get it, dude. I have used him in Faction Wars to see how good he is at max fusion, and this character is just a fucking beast, bro. Like, oh my god, dude, he's incredible. He just does, he can't get touched, and he kills everyone in like 3 hits, dude. The enraged buff gives him 300% damage. That turns him into a character that has a tower piece on that is maxed out. That's incredible. And in boss fights, this character is a fucking just destroyer of worlds. Now, you probably are wondering why I put him in the very good tier, since I'm sucking his dick so hard, and you probably think I should put him higher up on the list. The problem is that he's slow. That is where his problem comes in, and even then, this character is too good to just ignore. The 300% damage boost combined with tower gear means that he can become stronger than most Fusion 10 diamonds are. He is fucking ridiculous, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. He's no joke, dude. If you get him, use him. He's incredibly fun, and using his chainsaw is cool too. You know, and another reason why I love him so much as a character, even if he was even worse than he is now, is because I dress up as him every Halloween and I give out candy, chainsaw and all. He is very fun, and I like this character. He is not as bad as people tell you he is. I can assure you that much. He is a boss killer. That's what some of these characters are known as. He is one of them. He is absolutely ridiculous. I recommend you give him a shot. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for putting him above Jason, but I do think he is better than Jason Voorhees. Of course, both of these characters are very good in their own right. I feel like the Nightmare team is the most underrated team out of every single team in the Diamond list. But I can assure you that if you give him a fair shot, you will love him as much as I do. Moving on from the Nightmare team, we are going to get our first classic character, Classic Goro. Now, this character is a bit notorious for being the worst classic character, but I digress. He is definitely better than most people make him to be. His passive being quite simple, being that he will come back from death because he's unkillable or undefeated, they call it, and he will just come back after a couple seconds, stomping into the match, and that's his passive ability. And he also gives damage. I believe it was all characters on Goro's team gain 20% attack. So that's really nice to have. That's just good. 20% attack, awesome support. The fact that he comes back from death, he's a great survivor character. He's pretty good in boss fights too. He's not half bad. He's got block breaker on special 1 and he has weaken on special 2. A lot of people don't like using him because his special 1, unfortunately, he would get his strengthen and the opponent would already stand up from it, because he does like a little animation where he flexes his arms and the opponent would stand up during the animation and would start attacking you, meaning that you could not react as while using classic Goro. But I believe it was in the 5.1 update, they buffed him, they fixed his character, meaning that you will actually get the strengthen and he'll do his animation, and before or after the animation ends, then the opponent gets up. So this is really nice to have, and this has definitely boosted him up to being a really good character. And the fact that he gives you a free 20% damage on any character, this is not character specific, it does not matter, that's really good. Like, the 20% damage at all on any team is really nice. It can help in boss battles if you need the extra damage because you just want to, fucking put the hurt on him. This will definitely put him at the top of very good because of his support and the fact that he got buffed. He's not bad, if I'm being honest with you. He's not bad. And the fact that you can easily get fusions on him now, because guess what, guys? The classic pack that's in the shop is a permanent pack, so making classic Goro easy to get, and he's not even bad. A lot of people will hate him because they're like, oh man, people said this character's not good, blah 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 blah. No, he is absolutely a beast. The only thing I can say that is bad about him is that his special attack 1 is a grab, and the window for the grab to connect and actually land is very small, so you might miss it after some basic attack combos, so his special attack 1 can be a bit finicky. But I feel like the support that he gives alone is more than enough to put him in the very good tier. Yes, I am saying that a character giving your team 20% damage is enough to put them up here. That is good. I like having that. It's nice for the boss killing team that I use. He's incredible. And he's not even bad as a fighter. He's pretty fast. They definitely buffed him enough for him to be more than viable. So if you haven't used him because of the fact that he doesn't, get his strengthen before the enemy stands up, they changed it. He's buffed. He's a much better character now, and give him a try. I promise you'll love using him. And next up we have Guardian Terminator. Guardian Terminator, again, notorious Terminator of being with Dark Fate Terminator as a tower team. Dark Fate Terminator is great if you can get him to max fusion. His ability to just completely nullify some special attacks is incredible for your team. He can save some of your teammates from dying, and he's really good. Now, here's where the bad part comes in. If I'm being real with you guys, he is fucking one of the worst characters in the game at Fusion 0. I know I just said that, but the thing about Guardian Terminator is at low fusions, he will jump into the fray when your teammate gets hit with a special attack. And if he's low fusion, he'll tank it and he might end up getting killed by it. Does this mean that he's a bad character? No, he is only bad at low fusions. And if I'm being honest, he is not better than Dark Fate Terminator. I'm sorry, man. He is just not better than Dark Fate Terminator. So he is still a good character if he's like at Fusion 5 and above. He is a beast in the fray. He does a lot of damage. He has good special attacks. His basics are really fun. His brutality set is some of the best in the game. But the fact that getting him he's just as rare as Dark Fate Terminator in terms of getting copies of him. So this unfortunately puts him at a lower spot. Because his passive, in my opinion, is worse than Dark Fate Terminator's, and the fact that he does not have Cripple on Special 1, he has Dispel on Special 1. I would say he is definitely worse than Jason, and yeah, I'm gonna put him down there. He's not bad. He's not good. Not the best, but he's good. You get him, you're happy. He's a card that you get a fusion for or get a version of him and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. Like, you're not pissed about it, you know what I mean? You're usually like, yeah, woohoo. Next up on the list we have Hellspawn Scorpion. This character is a bit weird. Not many people use him, but his passive is incredibly good. 1.5 bars of power for your martial artist teammates, and that is more than enough to just immediately put him at great tier, below Dark Fate Terminator because of that alone. The fact that you can get bars of power for a number of characters, classic Rain, classic Liu Kang, classic Raiden, yeah, that's really nice to have. Cold War Sub-Zero, I believe. MK11 Scorpion? Hold on, I might be lying to you guys. Yes, MK11 Scorpion. He gives, yeah, so there's a lot of characters that he gives his bars of power to. Now, he's a very peculiar character, and it may be a bit strange, but his other part of his passive is Scorpion is immune to critical hit damage and takes 50% less damage from Netherrealm opponents, which is a very strange passive to have. Now, that on paper doesn't sound very good, and in practice it really isn't that good. But he himself does not require Block Breaker to be good. Yes, that's right, you heard me. He is incredibly good without Block Breaker. I can assure you that. He is great without it. He doesn't need it. He's a pretty good fighter as well. His basic attacks are some of the best I've ever used, and I use him on a lot of boss killing teams. For example, my main boss killing team right now for the Nightmare Tower is Classic Raiden, Hellspawn Scorpion, and Classic Goro, because the fact that I can start the match with an instantaneous special attack 2 is invaluable for me, and the fact that I don't need to use gear to get that special attack 2 power is really good. Hellspawn Scorpion is a character that if you ever get a copy of him, you should be happy about, because getting yourself free bars of power just for putting him on your team is too friggin' good to pass up on. He is a great character. I love using him. Even though his passive is a bit strange, and it's really finicky and strange, and it's just weird. But free power is free power, and he deserves to be where he is. Next up on the list is Injustice 2 Raiden. That's enough said, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. So Injustice 2 Raiden has a unique passive, is that he will drain the opponent's power as the match goes on. Injustice 2 Raiden has incredibly good basic attacks, a really good special attacks, and is just overall an absolute beast in the fight. He is top tier. Great special attacks, great basic attacks. His passive is just so good. It is so simple, but it's so friggin' good. He is such a good character, and by all means, if you get a copy of him, he is good at any fusion, low fusions, high fusions. He's just great. The fact that he has Block Breaker on special 2 and 1, I believe, and the fact that he drains the opponent's power as you are fighting him or as you are fighting them is just super good. And if you give him power drain in any way, like Varmint's Lucky Hat, it is, yeah, he becomes an absolute menace to deal with. And overall, getting even one copy of him is enough to boost some players' accounts up into the really good tier of things. Putting him in the tier of godlike also means that his passive has to be pretty good as well. Teammate special attacks have a chance to stun. That is fucking awesome. Just having that ability is nice. So yeah, he's just not only good as a support character, because it says teammates, it means anybody. He could be put onto any team and he works, man. Yeah, so definitely not a bad character at all. He's great to have. Block breaking is nice. The fact that his damage output is insane. The fact that he works everywhere. You know, he's really good against bosses is where he shines the most. The fact that he steals power from the opponent. It is... Yeah, he is too good, man. He is too freaking good. So next up on the list is Assassin Jade. Now, this character, I fucking hate. Everyone hates Assassin Jade. I can't stand her, dude. She suffers from the Day of the Dead Jade treatment and is just, if I'm being honest with you, an even worse character. I'm sorry, guys, but I genuinely think that the Assassin characters are some of the worst characters in the game. They are just not good. They suck in almost every regard. They aren't good as just at all. Especially at low fusions. If you get them on a beginner account, I'm so sorry for you. They are almost unusable. They just fucking suck compared to golds. It's like there are gold teams that are better than them, and that should tell you enough about them. Jade, if you don't know, gives the assassin team the ability to dodge attacks, and she herself, when she dodges an attack, she will appear back in and kick you in the head and then give you cripple. This made her one of the most infamous bosses in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile for being the most frustrating to deal with, meaning because guess what? She has a chance to dodge because of combo benders and special attacks. So she can sometimes just dodge your attack. You waste your bars of power. And not only do you waste your bars of power, she'll tag back in, deal a shit ton of damage to you, and cripple you on top of that. Now, does this mean that she's a good character? No, because this is only the boss variants of her. Her basic attacks are really bad, and she just fucking is just, oh my god, dude. It's so bad. So, her special attacks are bad. She does have shield break on special 1, so that's nice. And blind on special 2, which can be a lifesaver for some characters and some accounts. But guys, apart from the fact that she has that, she is going to be put lower than Assassin Katana. I'm sorry, guys. I know she is probably not as bad as I'm making her out to be, but I have used this team a lot, and I just fucking hate her, dude. She is not fun to use. She doesn't feel good to play. Her basics are terrible. Her passive isn't useful, and it never procs for me. I'm just unlucky, I guess. And yeah, that's why she belongs there. I definitely think she's worse than Assassin Katana. Now, next up on the list is Assassin Scarlet. Now, this is the only one of the Assassin characters that I think deserve any praise. Scarlet, being Scarlet, is bleed. That's good. We like bleed up in here. Now, the bleed damage she does can be suffice, and that means, again, she can be used to beat a Fatal Tower at Fusion 0. Yes, that's completely possible. Because at the start of the match, she has this thing called Blood Letter, which means that the opponents will be bled at the start of the match. All of them. She herself isn't half bad as a character either. She's got some really good basic attacks. She's quite fast. She's got some really, really good special attacks as well. Bleed on special 1, Cell Siphon, we all know that one. And she has Cripple on special 2, making her even better. So, by no means would I consider her to be very bad at all. If anything, I would consider her to be stronger than most characters in this game. So, she will be put into, I would say, into the top of good tier. Because she is still not that good compared to other characters. Yes, she gets bleed on special 1, and she gets strengthen, not cripple, I'm sorry, strengthen on special 2. She really isn't that good. And she does give assassin characters 30% lethal blow chance against opponents who have less than 50% chance. 50% health, which is good, and she also steals the opponent's power while they're being bled if they are bleeding, which can be pretty good as well. But at lower fusions, having lethal blow chance really doesn't matter at all, and just isn't that reliable. I mean, Freddy's version of lethal blow is much better and easier to use because, number one, they only have to be in the nightmare realm, which applies until they tag out, and the fact that you have snare means that you can keep them in the fight for much longer. Although 15 seconds of bleed is pretty good to have at the start of the match, and you can make it work on some builds or on some teams because she's actually pretty good outside of the assassin team. But I'm sorry, her at low fusions, just like Katana and Jade, is just fucking shit, dude. She just is not good. If you get her on a beginner account and you pair her up with Scorpion, she can be very nice and very good because the stun that you get from Scorpion specials can stall for longer and just overall get the most out of her ability, and she works even better with MK than Scorpion. But apart from that, guys, she is only going to be put into the top of the good tier, as she herself is just not a very good character. Next up on the list here, guys, we have Classic Jax Briggs. This one is actually the worst of the characters in the classic team, unfortunately. Now, like I said before, if you get the right gear on any diamond, the diamond can be good. Now, however, that doesn't mean that every diamond is created equal, and Jax Briggs is one of those characters. And I hate to see it, dude. I love Jax Briggs. I think he is a badass character. I love him playing him in the games. I think he's cool. I like his backstory. I love how fucking badass he is. The fact that he lights up a fucking stogie and just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass and just, you know, puff back, you know, a fat dart. But unlike in the Mortal Kombat games, in Mortal Kombat Mobile, unfortunately, he is not a good character. When blocking, there is a 20% chance that all direct damage will be ignored from special attacks. Also, when blocking basic attacks, there is a 20% chance to apply weaken, power drain, or cripple. Now, this seems like it's not as bad as I'm saying it is, because this is still Jax Briggs. He has the grapple attacks for special 1 and 2, meaning that all of his special attacks are unblockable, which is nice to have, but if I'm being honest, that does not put him very high on my list. After using him for quite a bit, he just struggles as a character. The fact that you need to block to get use out of his passive, meaning that you can end up taking a shitload of damage if you're trying to utilize it. And when you're fighting, you're basically just using a amped up gold character. Heavy weapons Jax Briggs is better than classic Jax ever will be. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, people that love this character, but he is not good. Even compared to Assassin Jade, Assassin Katana, and Circle of Shadow Katana, I would consider him to be the worst character in the game. I'm sorry, this is true. Even with his brutality set, he does not get very far. Yes, Jax's last puff is nice, and the fact that you can revive yourself as him is even nicer, but guys, he does not warrant being put anywhere else besides at the bottom of the list. Now, let's say as a hypothetical, if you just started the game and you got him at max fusion, fine, you could make you work out of him, but apart from that, guys, he is not going anywhere higher on this list. Even at max fusion, this character fucking sucks, dude. He is not good. He might as well just be a diamond with no passive. Not only that, his attacks are weak as hell. His special attacks for some reason do almost no damage. He just fucking, oh dude, he is terrible. I'm sorry, guys, he's just absolutely terrible. Next up on the list is a fan favorite. Everyone loves this character. He is known for being the best boss killer in the game. He is known for being able to solo any Fatal Tower battle, no matter which one it is. It's the one, the only, Classic Rain. Classic Rain, being a fan favorite character, being capable of utilizing the ability of soaking opponents and using the ability to electrocute them to deal even more damage. This character is known for dealing millions and millions of damage in just a few hits. Even at Fusion Zero, this character is a god tier. He is not bad by any means. Even after getting nerfed, he is still an absolute beast. If you have this card, if you have him at all, ask people around on what the best gear is to put on him, and I promise you people will tell you. He is fucking ridiculous as a character. Not only is his damage output some of the best in the game, he is just, the fact that he's good at Fusion Zero. Yes, he is one of the best characters at Fusion Zero. His boss killing capabilities are unmatched. He is the best boss killer in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile. There's not a single character that is better than him in terms of boss killing. So apart from that, it doesn't matter what his passive is. It's just like he himself being who he is just enough to put him there. But of course I'm going to read off his passive for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. Classic Rain gains a 15% power generation increase till the end of the match per unique lasting negative effect applied by him or a teammate. Power generation effects can stack up to 7 times. Classic Rain's combo enders have a 20% chance to apply the soaked effect. Any negative effect applied to a soaked enemy by a classic teammate has a 35% chance to be applied as a team negative effect. Classic teammates start with 1 bar of power. Now, to explain what that means, essentially it's just when you apply a negative effect to an enemy that is soaked, that negative effect can be applied to the whole enemy team. Ironically, this also applies to soaked. Yes, this works on soaked as well. So if you don't know what soaked does, it's basically an effect that slows down the opponent and increases the damage they take to lightning attacks, whether it be any of the Raiden characters. It also, by the way, if you guys don't know this also works with MK11 Nightwolf. Yes, MK11 Nightwolf's special attacks are both lightning attacks, which is pretty cool. So you can actually get some use out of them. So yeah, if you haven't tried it, try it. Rain's Special 2 also works with the soaked effect. MK11 Rain's Special 2 also works with the soaked effect. So guys, yes, he definitely belongs where he belongs. Just his capabilities are unmatched by any character, and he just belongs at the top of the list. He is not moving from there, and that is just where he is. He is the best character in the game at any fusion, on any account, on pretty much any team. Now, next up on the list, we have Classic Reptile. This character is known for being very easy to get copies of and spamming poison to no end. He's one of the few characters that most beginners get, and are sometimes most beginners' first diamond character that they get a copy of, and first classic character as well. Classic Reptile's passive being that if a opponent tags in, there's an 80% chance that the status effect poison will be placed on them, and that Outworld teammates are immune to poison. Now, this is a very simple character, but guys, his basic attacks and combos and his special attacks also applying poison, and his brutality set being as good as it is, and the fact that he is easy to get fusions on, all on top of this, puts him into the godlike tier. Now, this character by no means is the strongest diamonds in terms of damage, but the fact that you can get copies of him super easily, the fact that he applies poison, the fact that he is amazing on almost every single team, and the only downside that he has is that he doesn't work well against bosses, but even then, he is still a fucking beast of a character. He is super easy to get to Fusion 10. He belongs in the God tier spot, also being one of the first few characters that are unlocked through doing a special event and not through packs. So he definitely belongs to be here. The fact that anyone can get a copy of him, the fact that he's super easy to get to Fusion 10, he belongs at the godlike spot. If you don't have a copy of him, you are probably brand new to the game, or you just didn't know you can get him. But yeah, he is definitely an amazing character. Classic Liu Kang. Oh man, he is fucking put him right there. There you go. Classic Liu Kang is another godlike character for obvious reasons. Cripple on tagging, the fact that the SP2 spam is a thing. Yeah, and Team Fire on special attack 2 when he is caught on fire. The immunity that he has to damage over time effects is really nice. The fact that he negates one of the most notorious characters' passive being, sorry guys, that was a fly. The fact that he negates one of the most notorious characters' passive ability is absolutely incredible. And just in general, he's a really good fighter. He has good special attacks. He's just good all around. He is by no means bad. Getting him at any fusion is good. He is good at Fusion 0, but he is not a boss killer at Fusion 0, unfortunately. But his passive works on any team. Yes, that's right. His passive works on any team. And he as a character is really good. His basic attacks are really nice to have. His special attacks are really good as well. His basic combos are absolutely incredible, being able to chain them a shit ton. And the fact that he heals from fire damage over time and is immune to bleed, poison, and power drain is incredible. And the thing is every time someone tries to apply a damage over time effect to you, he gains a 50% critical hit chance. And if he gets power drained, that gives him 50% basic attack damage boost. So that's really nice. And the cripple on tagging is really good as well. So yeah, he definitely belongs to be in the god tier spot. He is absolutely incredible at any fusion level, and if you get him on a beginner account, you are blessed, bro. Next up on the list is another godlike character. Yes, this is classic Raiden. He is known very well throughout the community as being one of the best cards to get on any account, and he is also good at any fusion. If you don't know what classic Raiden does, each time he tags in, lightning will strike the active opponent, removing 40% of their current HP and 66% of their power. The only downside to this character is that he doesn't work on bosses, but don't let that fool you. His basic attacks and his special attacks are some of the best in the game. Yes, he is good against bosses, to put it simply to you. He is really good against bosses. Even though his passive doesn't work, his special 2 definitely does. And let me tell you, as someone who has him at a very high fusion, he is absolutely incredible against bosses. Now, he works in everything. Now, when his passive works in tower battles, it works, dude. Like, you just tag in with him, and then you just fucking delete their health bar. If you're struggling with Assassin Jade, tag in, there goes her health bar. Yeah, he is incredible, and there's really not much else for me to say for him apart from having really good special attacks and an incredibly good tag in attack. But yeah, guys, moving on from that, we're gonna move on to the Cold War team. What a notorious set of characters, the Cold War team, or just Cold team. Now, they got updated. So, the problem with this team, just like the Nightmare characters, is that they are notoriously rare and hard to get your hands on. Cold War Scorpion, I'm going to put him at the top of very good. The fact that he is immune to fire and he gives his team shield on special attack 2 is very good. So his passive is fire based. So achieving 80% plus on flame shield, which is his special attack 2, applies fire damage over time for 9 seconds to the entire enemy team. Cold War Scorpion is immune to fire damage over time. All Cold War teammates that achieve 80% plus on the special attack 2 mini game apply fire damage over time to the enemy. That's really good. That's nice to have. I wouldn't say he himself is a very good character because his basic attacks kind of suck. And he's not that good at low fusions because he kind of relies a lot on his team, if I'm being real with you. I don't think he's bad. I love using him. I have all characters on for his team. They're very fun to play. I definitely think he is honestly the best out of his team. Definitely the best out of his team, mainly because of the fire damage over time. And he's Scorpion. Scorpion is just fucking good in this game, just in general. For some reason, I don't know why every Scorpion character is good. Even Injustice 2, Scorpion is good. But yeah, we're gonna move on. The next character is Cold War Sonya Blade. This character definitely fucking a bit strange. Her passive is each team member starts encased in ice armor that reduces 90% of damage of special attacks or x-rays / fatal blows for 8 seconds. All Cold War characters have no time limit on the ice armor. All Cold War teammates have a 60% chance to gain ice armor on special attack 2. She's an amazing support character for the Cold War team, and she will be put right below Cold War Scorpion. Her shield is nice. The fact that it reduces damage on special attacks is nice. It's always a good thing. The fact that it makes your team tankier means that your team can last longer. Just overall, great friggin' character. Not bad by any means. She's just a good character. But again, she has the same problem as Cold War Scorpion, where she relies on her team to be good. She can't be good without their team. Moving on to Cold War Sub-Zero. His passive is increases team's power generation and decreases the opponent's power generation for each Cold War team member. Cold War Sub-Zero does a 50% critical damage against enemies affected by frostbite. Cold War teammates using special attacks have a 50% chance to cause frostbite. Basically, the motherfucker makes your team cold and they gotta put on some sweaters. That's what he does. This character is really fucking good. Frostbite is a incredibly good status effect. It's basically just rips the power away from the people you're fighting. Like, they just cannot get power at all, and it's just like, yeah, this would put him up into the great tier. He's a beast on his own. He doesn't need his team to be good, but it is nice to, of course, have his team, because playing Frostbite is always a good thing. And the last person on our list is Cold War Scarlet. This one is a little bit more notorious for being more annoying to go up against than actually play with. I don't like this character, if I'm being honest with you, but you know, I'll give her a fair chance. Sorry. Whenever reduced below 30% health, Cold War Scarlet gains the Crimson Shield, which reflects back 50% of the enemy's initial damage from basic attacks, special attacks, and X-ray attacks damage. All Cold War teammates have a 60% chance to gain Crimson Shield for 12 seconds on special attack 1. So she's not half bad for a support character. She's pretty good in boss battles as well, because this does work against bosses. So, not too bad. As a character, me personally, I am not using her over the other Cold War characters, because that's just foolish. I think the other Cold War characters are much better, in my opinion. But she is still pretty good, and I will put her at the bottom of the very good tier. And the next character up on the list and team is the MK11 team. I love the MK11 team. Everyone loves the MK11 team. They are very fun to play. And of course, first up we have on our list here is MK11 Scorpion. Ignore that tier. That's been here the entire time. MK11 Scorpion is broken and needs a rework. I'm sorry, guys. This is going to come off as strange. Is it because I think he's bad? No. I think he is too good. I fucking hate MK11 Scorpion. I despise him, dude. Every time I talk to people I say, hey guys, this battle's a bit hard for me. Can you guys give me a tip on how I can do this battle? And then they will always say, dude, just use MK11 Scorpion, bro. Just spend SP1, bro. The fight is so easy with more. And like, I don't use him. I never use Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion. I will if it's like Survivor or something and he is on for like 5 times points. I will use him then because I want to do Survivor, and I'm not going to purposefully hinder myself, but I don't use him in tower battles ever. I think he is so good that he just needs to be nerfed. His special attack 1 loop is infinite. It is fucking infinite, dude. Oh my god, is he good. I for the few times I have used him like as the fighter on my team, I couldn't die. He is so friggin' good. He needs to be nerfed, dude. It is ridiculous how OP he is. There's no reason for this character to be as strong as he is. The fact that you can get the best character in the game from a permanent pack, it is fucking ridiculous, dude. He does not deserve to be as good as he is. Now, of course, people are going to argue with me on this one, but I do think he's too good. People would say Classic Rain is too good, but the thing about Classic Rain is you need to set up for him. You need the right team members, you need the right gear, you need to do everything right on Classic Rain to make him good, or to make him a godlike. He doesn't need the best gear, and if you do have him on a beginner account, Classic Rain is still an amazing character, but he is... MK11 Scorpion, it just throws all the fundamentals of this game out the window, and he is fucking broken. Just because of his basic attacks. His passive is whatever. The fire that he does is nice. It is a little bit fucking OP, but it's not as broken as most people say it is. Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion needs to be nerfed. I don't care. He just is too good. I don't use him out of principle, because he's just not fun. I don't think he's fun. I think he is so good that he makes the game into a shitty simulator game that you would find on fucking Roblox or one of those shitty mobile games where you just like move your character around and collect cash and then, you know, you upgrade and become super OP. That is all it is. You just tap your phone screen and then you don't have to think. There's no strategy behind it. You just the game plays itself. You can put the game on auto battle and the character and fucking Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion knows how to do the infinite loop. He is that good. I don't like him. I don't care. But if I were to put him in the ranking, of course he'd be put at the very top of the list, or just behind Classic Rain. But the only downside to him is that he doesn't work against bosses, but his fucking infinite loop does work against bosses, and that's a problem. That is a problem. And he applies cripple on special. Like, dude, please, guys. I don't just fuck, dude. I'm done talking about him. Moving on, we have MK11 Fujin. Boop. So MK11 Fujin is one of those characters that are just like Classic Rain. He has a very good passive. His passive being Hurricane Lord being what it does is at the end of a combo ender, he will do cripple and he will slow the opponent, and it will apply this effect called Hurricane Lord. The opponent will take additional damage from attacks, I believe it was, for a Fujin's passive is Fujin has increased combo ender chance. Performing combo ender triggers a chain of 3 challenges. Activating 80% on the challenge inflicts the hurricane effect on the enemy for 20 seconds. The hurricane increases all incoming damage to the enemy by 30%. The second slows down the enemy by 40%. And the third hurricane disables the enemy's special attacks. If the opponent is already inflicted with Hurricane Lord, the chain of challenges will not start. Lightning hitting the hurricane strikes the enemy 3 more times. All MK11 and Elder God teammates have a 50% chance to apply Dispel on special attack. So you can tell why this character is very good. Increasing the damage an opponent takes, making them slower, and crippling them all on combo ender makes this character a godlike character. And you can probably tell that he is also used in the lineup for being able to beat Fatal Towers at Fusion 0. Yeah, he is that good. Applying Hurricane Lord, increasing the damage they take, using Rain, and yeah, you've essentially just beaten the game. He's not absolutely broken like MK11 Scorpion, since he's not that good in terms of his own fighting capabilities, and Stun on special attack 2 is also quite good. Now guys, he definitely belongs up there, and he's gonna stay there. He's a great character at any Fusion level, so you know, if you have him, dude, that's a good pull. It's always good to get a copy of Mortal Kombat 11 Fujin. Moving on, guys, to Mortal Kombat 11 Jade, the most hated character in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile, apart from Assassin Jade. I don't know why the Jades in this game are just so fucking infuriating to fight against it, but, you know, she's definitely one of them. If you don't know what her passive does, that means you've just never fought her before, and lucky you. MK11 Jade has a 25% chance to dodge basic attacks, leaving the opponent slowed and open for a counterattack. MK11 teammates are healed by fire, bleed, and poison. Yeah, this character fucking sucks to go up against. She's also pretty good on her own. She is one of the few Jade characters that doesn't have the worst fucking special attacks, I think. Not special attacks, fuck. She's one of the few Jade characters that doesn't have the worst basic attacks I think I've ever seen. She's not as slow as they are, and she is actually pretty fast, and her special attacks deal really good damage. She can give the opponent blind and stun on special 2. She gives snare on special 1. She is a great character. Definitely would put her in the great tier. MK11 Cabal. Cabal is a pretty, again, notorious character to go up against, especially in survivor mode. When the opponent has them maxed out, he is fucking the most frustrating thing to go up against. But MK11 Cabal is kind of there. I'm just gonna put him in the good tier. By no means is he bad. No, sorry, no. Okay, he is good in every scenario. It's just that he doesn't really do much. He kind of feels like a gold character. Yeah, sort of, kind of, you know, just kind of. He just kind of is, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain him. He was one of the first few diamonds I've ever gotten my hands on. But I'll tell you what his passive is. When MK11 Cabal tags in, he gains increased speed for 12 seconds and stuns the opponent with his dash. When an MK11 teammate is stunned, MK11 Cabal will attempt to stun the opponent and remove the stun from his teammate. When an MK11 teammate is defeated, MK11 Cabal will tag in and if unblocked will perform a fatal blow attack. Now, Cabal is quite strong. He is not that bad. His tag and attack, the fact that he gains speed, it makes him a pretty nice character, and he could be really good for assassinating some opponents that are low on HP. Now, he's one of the few characters and just like no one knows how to use him sort of deal. He is usually utilized in the way of the second part of his passive. People will wait for their MK11 teammates to die. And I'm like, what in the flying fuck are you doing, dude? Like, his tag and attack, first of all, it stuns. 2, he gains speed, so he's a good fighter, right? He's quick on his feet, you know, he does a lot of damage. He's hard to, you know, he's hard to get in, like, counter hits on, and, like, the AI just can't do anything against him. So he's not bad. but his problem is that his damage is really bad. Like, he just doesn't have much there. Like, he kind of, he'll if you can get the X-ray off on him, like, he's not that bad, but he's definitely not the best of the MK11 team, but he's definitely not the worst. Next up we have on the list here is the MK11 support character, MK11 Nightwolf. And if you heard me mention this earlier, MK11 Nightwolf actually does lightning damage with his first special attack and his second special attack, which is really good, which means that he actually gets the bonus from the opponents being soaked. So yes, he actually has some synergy with MK11 Rain. So that alone puts him up in the great tier, the fact that he can get use out of that. And his support is notorious for being very good, giving your teammates, you know, increased damage, power generation. His spirits, MK11 teammates, get a bonus according to Nightwolf's animal combat stance, even when Nightwolf is defeated. The wolf spirit gives a 30% damage boost, the bear spirit gives a 40% max health boost, and the eagle spirit gives a 20% generation to power boost, which is quite good. His passive is quite convoluted, so I will skip out on it for the sake of time, because this video is already long enough as it is. It's already almost 2 hours long. Oh my fucking god, I just realized what I did. But we're committing to the video because I'm already this far in. So he is really good. He's got good basic attacks. He's got good special attacks. He's not bad. He's great for SP1 spamming builds. He's really good when you have Rain on your team. I wouldn't say he's godlike, but his support definitely puts him up into the great tier. I wouldn't say he's worse than... I would definitely say he's better than Black Dragon Cabal and below Circle Shadow Sub-Zero, because he himself isn't the best of the fighters, but he does have grapple on special tube, and you can make him work. He is really good. MK11 Noob Cybot. Now, this character is quite notorious for being very hard to get copies of, and is usually one of the few characters that most people aren't able to get for their MK11 collection. MK11 Noob Cybot's passive is Noob Cybot's special attacks apply death mark to his opponents, disabling all forms of resurrection and increasing future damage done by 10% for 20 seconds, stacking up to 3 times after performing a successful special attack too. MK11 Noob Cybot summons his shadow to fight in his place. Shadow starts with 15% of Noob Cybot's current health, max 3 shadows per battle. When MK11 characters block an enemy's attack, a Noob Cybot's shadow will counterattack and apply death mark. Synergy, 50% critical and lethal blow damage for Netherrealm teammates. Now, this character is quite good. His support is incredibly good, and giving your teammates any amount of lethal blow damage or critical damage to your teammates is always insane to have. So definitely gonna have to put him up here. It's hard to decide. I would definitely put him above Dark Emperor Liu Kang. He is really good on a lot of teams. Ironically, the Circle of Shadow team he is very good on because of the lethal blow damage he can do. And if you pair him up with Sub-Zero and Dark Emperor Liu Kang, guess what? You do a lot of damage. He's definitely worth having on your team. He's not bad. He's also pretty good with MK11 Scorpion because of the lethal blow damage he can do. MK11 Scorpion also gives lethal blow chance to your teammates because his fucking damage wasn't good enough already. So yeah, a lot of synergy there. Great character, great passives, great abilities. He's just good all around. You know, he's good in every scenario. Tower battles. He's really good in Survivor, especially because of the special attack 2 thing. And it's just really nice to have all around. You know, he's not bad. Now we have what some people would consider to be the worst MK11 teammate character. And I'm gonna just call you fucking stupid because I don't think MK11 Raiden is bad at all. MK11 Raiden easily put into the great tier. The stuns that he does is invaluable, and the fact that your teammates become immune to power drain is also really good. He is a beast. He also works with the soaked team and usually is used with the soaked team, and the fact that his stuns can proc constantly, meaning that he can stall for time, makes him really good as well. He is also really good against bosses because he can also disable the combo enders to boss attacks for the rest of the round, which is really nice to have because that means that your team won't be getting brutalized at all and will also completely counter getting one shot by a boss's combo ender, because most bosses have the brutality set on them already, and that can make them a pain in the ass to deal with. So he definitely will be put into great tier. He will definitely be put into the great tier because of his stuns and the fact that he can disable the combo enders of bosses entirely. Next up on the list is MK11 Rain, and just like Rain, he will be put into the god tier spot. MK11 Rain does Soaked. That's pretty much all you need to know about him. And he does a Thunder attack on special attack too. And that's just alone enough to put him into the godlike. The fact that he synergizes with himself just like classic Rain does. The only problem with him is that he is not as good as classic Rain, but he's still a god tier character. Now getting into his passive, MK11 Rain starts with the match with 1 bar of power. Rain has a 10% chance to immediately counterattack an opponent's basic attack. This counterattack applies the Soaked debuff. Characters affected by Soak are slowed and take 35% more damage from lightning attacks. When an active enemy is affected by Soak, each instance of lightning attack will hit all the enemies affected by Soaked, including those tagged out. Soaked lasts for 20 seconds. This is really good to have. As you can tell, he is a beast in pretty much any scenario. He could deal damage in pretty much any scenario and is just really good all around. He is really good even at Fusion 0. He can do a lot of damage, but he is not the worst of the MK11 team. He's definitely one of the best of the MK11 team. He is up there with the greats and definitely deserves to be in the godlike section just because of the Soaked ability and his synergy with boss killing and just absolutely destroying the team. Basically everything I said about classic Rain applies to MK11 Rain. Next up on the list is MK11 Sindel, another character that a lot of people hate using. This character is going to be put into the great tier because of the simple fact that she gives your team block breakers. MK11 Sindel's passive consists of 3 times per match. At the moment of her choice, MK11 Sindel can counter an enemy's basic attack with a move that applies stun. On successful combo ender, Maleficent March special attack 2 and Adenian Royal Decree, the fatal blow, Sindel's Scream applies a weaken to the opponent. MK11 Sindel has a 50% chance to apply shield break for any special attack performed against her. MK11 teammates and NetherRealm teammates have a 25% unblockable attacks and have a 20% chance to resist stun. That's really good. Just in general, she's a good fighter. She has really good block breaking potential for your team, but the only reason why she's not put into the god tier is because she is super slow. So if you aren't lucky enough to get the block breaker, you can end up just getting completely countered and just completely screwed over. Next up on the list is our boy Shang Tsung, fan favorite by many, pretty good character in this game as well. On Taggin, MK11 Shang Tsung morphs into one of his non-boss opponents for 20 seconds, allowing him to use their own special attacks, X-Ray, Fatal Blow. When below 2 bars of power, MK11 Shang Tsung will passively generate power over time. Active MK11 teammates heal for 35% of their maximum health after defeating an opponent. Pretty good. Overall, he's great in a lot of scenarios. He's pretty good in Survivor, but he kind of struggles against bosses. Other than that, his basics are quite good. The fact that he can morph into an opponent makes him even better. The fact that he can apply Soaked. Yes, he can apply Soaked, which is just really weird, but yeah, he can do that. Yeah, if the enemy is playing a Rain, you can apply Soaked, mind you. So yeah, and he can also do other characters' brutalities, if you didn't know that. Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. So he will be put into the bottom of great. Next up on the list is MK11 Sub-Zero. This character is quite good, honestly. He's not bad in really any sense of the word. He's a great fighter. He does his job well. He is unique in the sense that he applies Frostbite constantly to the opponents. Any fighting Any opponent fighting against MK11 Sub-Zero for 8 seconds get Frostbite. When performing combo enders against frostbitten opponents, MK11 Sub-Zero has a 35% chance of freezing them. Sub-Zero saves each Mortal Kombat 11 teammate once by replacing him or her with an ice clone. The ice clone explodes, dealing high damage and causing bleed. So, this alone puts him up into the God tier. Yeah, he deserves it. He is a really good fighter. His basic attacks are incredible. The fact that he can freeze the opponent is incredible. His damage is really nice. He isn't, too shabby in terms of fighting. His brutality set is really good, and there's a lot of gear out there that can help him with just fighting in general. So definitely a really good character overall. And the fact that he's, he can save your teammates from death. Saving your teammates from death, invaluable. Always good to have that. Anyways, moving on to a fan favorite, Ravenous Melina. She is a great character, and I mean that literally. She's going to be put into the great tier. Where will I put her? I will definitely put her above MK11 Raiden. The fact that her passive ability can work on bosses when she tags in. The fact that she can apply stun and then heal on special attack too is pretty good. She is overall a decent character. She's not the greatest of the characters out there. Her only ability being that she tags in and stuns and bleeds the opponent. So that is nice, but it is kind of lackluster. She herself is a pretty decent fighter and overall is a pretty good character. But I wouldn't say that she should go into the God tier like most people should think. But I definitely think she's worth having. She's good on low fusion because her stun works, and so does bleed, which is always nice. She also has the ability to heal on special attack too, which is even nicer. So it's just all these things add up, and they just kind of make her into a great character. Next up on the list is the Ronin team. This team has been hated on by many, and even more so in recent years than ever. For some reason, NetherRealm Studios refuses to buff the Ronin characters for some strange and allotted reason, and I kind of hate it because they're pretty good characters, but, I wish they were better, but it's just kind of annoying, but, yeah. Moving on, it's our boy, Ronin Kenshi. He's the best of the Ronin characters, no fucking contest, and let's read that passive. When Kenji blocks his special attacks, his attacks gain 100% unblockable and critical for 2 seconds. Plus 30% attack for each Ronin teammate versus martial artist characters. Yeah, you can probably see why this character is considered so bad. Now you can upgrade his passive and make it, I believe it was 6 seconds of unblockable attacks and critical, which is nice, and the increased damage towards martial artist is nice because towers love to use martial artist characters, so he is definitely the best of the Ronin characters. His damage is fucking superb if you can set him up correctly, but he will be put into the middle of very good. I don't think he is that great, but he is definitely better than all of these diamonds down here. Moving on to the most hated character in all of Mortal Kombat Mobile history, apart from Leatherface, we have Ronin Katana. Ronin Katana's passive is 30% attack for Ronin teammates versus Outworld enemies. All Ronin characters gain 20% critical hit chance for each Ronin character on the team. Ronin characters do 10% more damage versus Cold War characters, and that is the synergy for all of them. I don't know why I said that. But Ronin Katana is pretty fucking worthless, but increased critical damage is very good. And that alone definitely puts her, I would say, at the top of decent and serviceable. Yeah, she is not that good. She's not the worst character I've ever seen in this game, and she's not that bad to use. Her specials are okay, but there are better options out there. I'm sorry, guys. Next up, we got our boy Ronin Takeda, or Takeda, however you say his name. He is a pretty decent character. He's not the worst of the Takeda characters, but his passive consists of 30% attack for each Ronin teammate versus Spec Ops characters. All Ronin characters gain 30% critical damage for each Ronin character. All Ronin characters gain 30% critical damage for each Ronin character on the team. So that's not bad. As you can see, this team works well when they're all on the team and you have the full Ronin team. Once you have all three of them, and if, let's again hypothetical, if your team or if your account was brand new, level 1, had nothing on it, and these was the team you got at Fusion 10, level 60, this team would carry you. It is not bad at all. They're a decent team, but by no means are they the best diamond team in the game, unfortunately. So Ronin Takeda, being who he is, I will put him at the end of very good. Strike Force Johnny Cage. We all know him. We all fucking love him. He used to be called Undead Hunter. He's not anymore. I will be putting him at the tippy top of Godlike. Not the tippy top, but up there just before Classic Raiden. He is a phenomenal character, and he's one of the few characters in the game that I actually recommend the player not use his brutality set on him. Yes, you heard me right. I don't think you, the player, should use his brutality. Not as in, like, don't use the gear. I mean, just don't have the brutality set to where you will do the special combo ender. The reason why is because it will mess up his combo chaining, which is what makes him so good. His basic attacks are very good. His special attack 1 spamming is very good. His passive is even better, being that he gets stronger if the opponent resurrects. If opponent resurrects, Johnny instantly gains 1 bar of power. Strike Force Johnny Cage gains up to 100% damage and 25% power generation as he loses HP. All Strike Force teammates do plus 30% damage versus NetherRealm characters. So yeah, he's definitely not bad in any way. He's really good. His basic attacks are incredible. His damage is incredible. His special attacks are incredible. Just, you know, it's Johnny Cage, bro. Every version of him is good. There's no such thing as a bad Johnny Cage. Now, moving on from him, we're gonna go on to Strike Force Cassie Cage, or Punk Cassie Cage. You may know her if you used to play this game back in the day. Punk Cassie Cage is commonly regarded as the worst Strike Force character, and this is true, unfortunately, but she's not that bad. Each time Cassie Cage tags in, she drains 1 bar of power from the opponent or from the enemy team, as well as slowing the current opponent for 16 seconds. Strike Force teammates receive a plus 25% more health and attack. On tag-in, Strike Force teammates are immune to lethal blow and critical hits for 7 seconds. She's not bad as a support character. She's quite good, actually. So I would give her that. And her basics are no joke. Her basic attacks being pretty good, and overall, she's not a half bad character. She's definitely good on her own team, although she does not do very well on her own. She'll be put near the top of very good. Next up on the list, we got our boy, everyone loves this guy, Strike Force Scorpion, just behind Strike Force Johnny Cage. His passive is when a teammate would be KO'd, Strike Force Scorpion tags in and counterattacks with heavy damage. Saved teammates recover 15% of their health. Having 2 Strike Force teammates allows Scorpion to make an additional save. Strike Force teammates steal a bar of power on tagging. Pretty good. This is a good character, and this means, so he is one of the first few characters that some beginners will get and will most likely utilize a lot. So he will save your teammates. Both of them one time, as if you had MK11 Sub-Zero on your team and you had an MK11 team. You will tag in and save them only one time for each teammate. So it's really nice. The only downside is that if you have him at low fusion, the tagging in and saving your teammate could result in him dying if you don't have a plan. So I recommend you put shield gear on him or anything that increases his maximum HP so he can be as tanky as possible. Other than that, he's a great character and definitely belongs at the top of God tier. And, you know, as he is a Scorpion character, so that should be kind of expected. up next on the list is our boy Conqueror. Oh, hello. Did you want to be in the YouTube video? Did you want to be in the YouTube video? Hello. Oh my goodness. Next up on the list, we have our boy Conqueror Shao Kahn. Notorious for being, again, one of the few diamonds that you can get for absolutely free. Once per match, Emperor's Bash, which is his special attack 2, instantly kills a non-boss opponent if they are under 40% health. Shao Kahn has a 45% chance of helping a tagged-in Outworld teammate by throwing his hammer at the opponent. Yeah, this is a very interesting character, being able to do a brutality without a brutality set. Now, if I'm being honest, he is not good, but there is one scenario, 2 scenarios that I can think of where he has genuinely given me help. Classic Raiden plus Conqueror Shao Kahn means that you can kill Assassin Jade almost every time without fail. Now this doesn't work on bosses. I'm talking about like battle 180 through battle like 199 in Fatal Towers. So if you don't know, in that battle range from 180 to 199, the game loves the assassin team. They do not care, dude. They will shove them in any way they can, dude. They are just like, man, this isn't hard enough. I need to put the most infuriating team to go up against. So they will shove them in there. And Assassin Jade is super fucking annoying in Fatal Towers because she'll have like millions of HP and she'll just be like untouchable and just is super strong. And like usually like the modifier is something stupid, like it only takes 1 or resurrection or some dumb shit like that. So now this is a strategy. I'm going to tell you the full strategy. So you want to have Conqueror Shao Kahn or something like that as your opener. Don't have Raiden as your opener. So classic Raiden, you tag him in onto Jade and you deal 40% of her health in one go. Then you like do simple basic attacks, but you don't like do combo enders or special attacks until you get her to 40% and lower. Then you tag back in with Conqueror Shao Kahn and then you just kill her outright. You want to make sure that you have Shao Kahn's gear on him, like the Shao Kahn's helmet and Wrath Hammer, so you can get that or like 2 bars of power, so you guaranteed have the special 2 when you start the match. So that's yeah, definitely what I recommend you do. But that is the only scenario where he is like super like oppressive and is actually like really good. I'm gonna put him at the top of decent / serviceable. The reason being is that he's very weak. He does not do that much damage. He's incredibly slow, and his special attacks are nothing of note. He is just not that good. I mean, his passive is good if you can get it once per match, and he is super, I would say, pretty easy to get copies for, but I'm sorry guys, he's not as good as people say he is. I don't know what I just said there. He's not that good, guys. He just doesn't deserve to be that high on the list. Him being so slow leaves him open too often, and most of the time will lead to him getting killed. So yeah, sorry guys. Next up on the list, we have MK11 Scarlet. MK11 Scarlet. Like, who really cares about this character? I fucking hate MK11 Scarlet. I don't like Scarlet. I don't like playing as Scarlet, if I'm being honest with you guys. Anyways, we're gonna get into her passive. When MK11 Scarlet defeats an opponent, she makes blood rain for 40 seconds. While it is raining blood, MK11 Scarlet gets a 50% damage boost, and MK11 teammates apply bleed on combo enders, as well as gain heavy vampirism against bleeding opponents. Yeah, like, vampirism isn't really a good way of healing, and like, bleed is great and all, but like, that's not good enough to warrant picking her over the other like thousands of MK11 characters that you can use for pure support. If you have MK11 Sub-Zero, they'll get saved from life and you won't have to worry about getting killed in the first place. And he's also arguably easier to get copies for. And it's just like, whatever, dude. MK11 Scarlet, she's gonna go below Cabal in terms of like, you know, because she's just kind of there for the support and isn't that good. At least Cabal is a really good fighter. But she does have bleed, which is nice, but I can't put her any higher. Now we're on the third most hated character in Mortal Kombat Mobile. We've got Wretch Devora. When Wretch Devora defeats an opponent, she applies heavy damage, infinite poison damage over time to the opposing team. Her teammates do 20% critical damage against enemies affected by poison. Now, she's actually not bad. She is pretty good on a lot of scenarios. Her poison is nice. She's a poison god, and if you pair her up with Reptile, you've essentially got yourself a poison dot team, and she's really good in that scenario. Now, I'm going to put her at the top of good tier since she doesn't work against bosses, and that's fine. She doesn't need to work against bosses, but she definitely doesn't deserve all the hate she gets. She's just like Leatherface. If you can get the right setup on her, she can be a menace. She breaks block on SP1, meaning that she can actually get some pretty good value out of her abilities. And the fact that she applies poison means that the enemy can't regenerate. So I don't see the hate that she gets. I've used her quite a bit. I don't like Devora, but I gotta make an exception here. She is pretty good. Also, she's usable at Fusion 0. I mean, at least she can be used at Fusion 0. Up next, we have the Joker, the man, the myth, the legend, everyone's favorite, the Joker. He is a god tier card without a doubt, dude. His passive is fucking ridiculous. The buzzer deck giving you power, the gritting deck making the opponent blind and damage over timing them, and the exploding deck, which, you know, blows up their face hole and does a shitload of damage. So this character, just like Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero, Freddy Krueger, and all of them can deal millions of damage with his cards, making him incredibly good. He also has a really easy stun loop on Special Attack 2 because of his buzzer deck and his power generation, making him a fairly good character to use in the boss fights. So yes, I definitely recommend using him if you have him. He is good at pretty much any fusion, although he does struggle a little bit at the lower fusions, but he is still a really good character to have. So yeah, he's also a nomad, so that means he works on every team. So yeah, you know, that's good. Up next on the list, we have classic movie Raiden. This character, also a god tier character, also usable at any fusion, ironically enough. Classic movie Raiden is pretty notorious for being quite the character, mainly because he's one of the few characters that can deal a significant amount of damage to bosses, being able to deal 20% of a boss's HP in one go. At any fusion, mind you, it does not matter. His Special Attack 2 will stun the opponent, and if you hold one finger on the screen and then let it charge all the way up, you will deal 20% of the opponent's HP in one go, which is really good, especially for like a character like classic movie Raiden. He's pretty good. He's really fucking good. And the fact that he can be used at any fusion makes him even better. He works in every scenario, survivor challenges, battles, tower battles, and especially boss battles. His passive works in boss battles. So if you get him at those fusion, you have a boss killer on your hands, and this means that you are open to being able to do fatal towers. So that is a huge thing to have. Next up on the list, another fan favorite, our boy MK11, Liu Kang, and this character is going to be put at the top of great tier. He is a lovely character and a great addition to your MK11 team. Now, some people will either be appalled or kind of happy with where I put him on this list. Reason being is because some people think he is better than what he actually is. I personally don't agree, but anyways, let's get into his passive. MK11 Liu Kang has a 35% unblockable chance on special attacks. With each successful hit, Liu Kang applies a concussion effect to his opponent, which stacks up to 50 times. Each concussion increases the critical hit chance and unblockable attack chance against the opponent by 1%. Liu Kang counterattacks the opponent's special attacks with a chance equal to the number of concussion effects on the opponent. So yes, he is really good against bosses. Yes, he's a great character. So, you know, but he is not good at low fusions, which is why he's kind of being taken away from the godlike tier, and his concussion stacks are unfortunately not that good against bosses. So definitely a hit or miss character, but he can be really good if you have the right setup on him. He could easily be put into godlike if you have the right gear on him, like his brutality set. That will definitely put him into the godlike, but we're not talking about gear, but that's just a plus. Classic movie Sonya Blade and classic movie Johnny Cage are next up on the list. These characters are both fucking terrible. I have used both of them quite extensively at Fusion 10, and if I'm being honest with you guys, they fucking are so bad. So bad, dude. I don't even want to explain what they do. They're just that bad. I just fucking, they're just terrible. But I'll tell you what they do. Essentially, as long as when you use special attacks, there's like this little bar that'll go up, and if you click on the bar when it's maxed out, you like go in and you do like this special cool little combo on your screen, as if like kind of trying to mimic as if you were trying to play one of the Mortal Kombat games. You know, you kind of like just like, you know, move up, down, left, right with like on your finger and shit like that, and you'll do a combo. And that combo will do something like cripple or like fire or something, and it's like it's not good. It's just not good, dude. I'm sorry. Compared to their counterpart of classic movie Raiden, these characters were a fumble in my opinion. I do not think they're good characters, and personally I don't see the point of using them over other characters. Can they be fun? Yes. Do I think they're fun? Personally, no. So they're gonna be put at the bottom of the list. And last up on our list is the newest character from Mortal Kombat Mobile, and no, I did not intentionally put him at the last of the list, or at the very end of the list. It just kind of happened to be that way. He is easily a godlike character, and yes, I'm going to read his passive. I would say he is a little bit better than Day of the Dead Katana. Alright, almost there, boys. So this is going to be a long one. When Mortal Kombat 1, Scorpion successfully hits his opponent, he gains fire, vitality, energy. If he uses any successful special attack or fatal blow, he will get more fire, vitality, energy. For each fire vitality bar gained, Scorpion permanently increases his attack by 10% and gains shield for 7 seconds. When Scorpion receives fatal damage, if he has 3 bars of fire vitality, he ignites to stay alive, and it drains fire vitality bars. Ignited Mortal Kombat 1 Scorpion is immune to damage and all negative effects. He cannot be tagged out and gains a power generation boost if ignited, and his fire vitality has completely drained. He explodes and deals heavy damage to the active enemy. Mortal Kombat 1 Scorpion gains more fire, vitality, energy for each martial artist on his team. So this character has been notorious so far for being an unkillable bastard and is very difficult to deal with in tower battles. Now, fortunately, this also applies to people who have this character. Yes, that's right. This character is really fucking good. Like, really good. And yeah, definitely up there with one of the greats of this game. So he easily is going to be put into the godlike tier list. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's simply enough. Being unkillable basically pretty much guarantees your spot in the godlike part of the tier list. He is very similar to Dark Fate Terminator in the sense that he gets back after dying. And he has a shit ton of damage, and he deals damage when he dies. Yeah, so this character is pretty great. Anyways, as you guys can clearly see, it is the end of this long video and tier list. Anyways, guys, this is just my opinion. Please don't take it as gospel. Please don't be offended by it. Don't be like, oh my god, this, that, and the other thing. He thinks I'm stupid and this. Like, every diamond can be good if you set them up correctly. I personally, this is just how I feel about some of them and how I think about some of them. I do think where I put some of these characters is just in my opinion, just is just where they belong, and this is just how it is. But anyways, guys, if you disliked this video, make sure to give it a dislike and say something mean in the comments. I appreciate all and every criticism people give me. It's the only way to improve. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.